I haven't heard.
Your assistant's not here.
Yeah, she has the family matters she had to take care of.
Well, maybe work tonight.
I didn't realize how much the position is. Yeah, Lance, she told me the other night that she gave you the once over on this. She gave me your seal of approval. So I said, damn. I got it on TV, so I think that's working. One step at a time. It says it is. I get the recording, but I don't want to start that until we get down.
Is this going to YouTube or to channel?
It goes to YouTube and
Yeah, just get, we stream it
Stream it.
live, we stream it live, and then it's available on YouTube on the city channel, so. And you go back and look at all these exciting commission meetings, the airport commission, public works and council. So if you ever get a good case of, sleeplessness, just turn on a couple and put you right down.
When you run president someday, they'll go back and.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
What was it like? What did he say?
Yes. And as we passed this, our resolution was that we weren't going to pass this.
I got a recording going, so just like.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Can we have the roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Brewer,
Present.
Mr. Dockenbaugh,
Present.
Ms. Fisher, Councilman Heller,
Here.
Vice Chair Junk,
Here.
Chairman Dick.
Here.
Before we go on to the approval of the minutes, I'd just like to welcome Beth Fisher. She's a new member of our Board of Zoning Appeals. She was appointed the first of the year, so this is her first meeting. I just want to introduce her to the current commission. Agenda item 2, approval of the motion summary of the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting held on June 10, 2015, as recorded and transcribed. Ms. Brewer,
Approve.
Mr. Dautenbaugh,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilman Hellinger,
Abstain?
Vice Chair Junk,
Yes.
Chairman Dick.
Yes.
Regular business, 2015-0213, request by Yov and Shlomo Botok to appeal an administrative decision by the code official requiring the combination/demolition of 15 Flax Street on approximately 3.61 acres zoned M1 light manufacturing district under the 2000 property maintenance code. To give you a brief summary, this site is located north of Flax Street, adjacent to the river. It's zoned M1. This is an area, there's 3 buildings on the site. And this area here identifies the 3 buildings as Building 1, which is close to the river, Building 2, which is just east of that, in front of Flax Street, and there's the 3rd building is a steel building, and that's what we reference in the presentation I give you. Just give you a brief history of this. Back in March of 2015, this case where the Board of Zoning Appeals by the code officer to condemn or demolish the building. After that meeting and much discussion and review, the commission tabled that meeting in March of 2015. Then it was forwarded to the commission in June 2015. After a lot of discussion, the Board of Zoning Appeals moved to add the condition that the applicant will provide monthly progress report and completion status to staff, and that no further extension will be granted after December 1st, 2015, to approve the applicant extension to December 31st, 2015, to have all the work completed as documented Flax Street improvement plan that achieves compliance with the 2000 International Property Maintenance Code, the minimum building and zoning requirements, or staff insert this case on the June 13th, 2016 BZA agenda and request combination demolition of the above buildings as originally proposed in March 11th, 2015 BZA report. Staff made a decision in December, not on the January agenda, because we didn't have enough time to advertise that we weren't aware of back in June. The BZA is advertised, and the meeting would have been prior to that advertisement with the holidays and the like. Also, they were showing some progress of getting building permits approved. The building permits for the permits to building 1 and 2. That's why we delayed it in the February agenda. Since then, we've seen almost no improvements or steps taken to address the situation. That's why we have it tonight in front of you. In general, they have done some general maintenance to the buildings. They repaired a portion of the roof, 15 Flax Street, boarded up some windows, and cut the grass. And those are somewhat acceptable from the city's general standards. However, the applicant didn't provide a monthly progress report or in completion status to staff on a monthly basis per the BZA requirement last year. I think I kept you updated on emails each month or every other month based on what they submitted. Just give you an update of what occurred since last we met. 1 Flax Street, which is the building closest to the river, the building permit was approved on January 6th of this year, 2016, after some discussions and an adjudication letter from the chief building official, Jerry Warner, who's here today. The owner received a full approval of electrical building inspection for a bathroom on February 3rd of this year. and the owner received a second partial approval of General Electric for the entire building on February 18th of this year. So there were 2 inspections that were called in. The second building, which is 15 Flack Street, the building permit was approved on December 10th, 2015. Since then, no building inspections have been requested for this building. In the steel building, which is in the rear of the site, no building permits have been submitted for the subject building for improvements. Obviously, the owner has not met their committed obligation of completing the Flack Street property improvement plan that they submitted and agreed to last to BZA. However, because the owner has made some progress, albeit minimal and with no consistent pattern, staff reluctantly recommends an extension to June 30th, 2016 to have all the work completed as documented in the Flack Street improvement plans. Furthermore, staff would require a formal written monthly update on the status showing a consistent pattern of making progress to achieve compliance with the Flack Street improvement plan submitted by the owner's engineer. Failure to provide this documentation and progress could be considered grounds to bring the case back for formal hearing before the zoning appeals review as noted in advance of June 30th, 2016. That is staff's report and recommendation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
So I have a question. So you didn't receive any progress reports?
I didn't receive any formal reports from them. When they
No
would
formal.
submit a building application or submit a plan to Jerry that required in the adjudication letter, I'd update the committee at that time of the status of that. And the majority of you were here. I think you're just 1 new member or 2 new members now that were involved in those emails until the first of the year.
What is the procedural, since we have a resolution not to go back, what's the wisdom? Do we need to cancel that or?
Well, it's in front of you tonight to make this is something that you want to approve, deny, or support staff, or make your own recommendation or decision.
Okay, I would like to say anybody in the audience there who wishes to give testimony tonight needs to come up to the table and be formally sworn in.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't.
Second, sir, please. You raise your right hand. You swear to affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, help you God. Okay. Would you one at a time please state your name and spell it for staff so you can get it down, please?
If you don't mind, I'm Scott Gordon, SCOTT-GORDON, representing property owners here. I'm here with the engineer that's been working on the properties. Respectfully, we would submit, or we would ask that this board adopt the recommendation of the city and provide for the property owners to continue to make these improvements. We understand that the improvements are not done and not completed, but there have been some made. We don't believe the property any longer constitutes a public nuisance. We believe that we've cured any dangers of the property that could place neighbors, could place trespassers even at risk of physical harm. But the engineer will be able to explain to this board further what's been going on the inside. I'm not aware of the ongoing and historical problem of police runs coming to the property and all that. I would admit that we think it's been significantly reduced due to some steps that the property owners are taking. We ask the board accept the city's recommendation, provide the property owners some additional time to continue to make improvements to this property. So, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Would you come up here to the mic, state and spell your name, please?
Behzad Vedai, B-E-H-Z-D. Last name is Vedai, V-E-D-A-I-E. Thank you for having this meeting so we can discuss about this project. We have tried really hard to meet the requirement that Jerry was asking us to do, the drawings and the requirement of the drawings, the application, and the way the procedure was going to try to meet that. At the same time, we didn't wait during the time when we submitted the drawings until the drawings get approval. We did clean up the whole site. We painted all the outside. We painted all the doors. We repaired all the roof. We repaired the gutters. We repaired everything that we could repair as a repair. And we, of course, we get the permission from Jerry by saying that we want to do these things. So that's fine as long as you don't do any electrical, you don't do any plumbing, you don't do any trade portion, which we did not at all until the permit is issued. Then we start doing the trade work after the permit was issued. The electrical, as reported, was inspected, and the rough passed. The plumbing rough passed, and the handicap accessibility bathroom, the walls are built, and it's going to be inspected by tomorrow after. This is what I've been told. So they are ready to get that structural portion approved so they can put the drywall. Already put one side drywall, but they didn't cover it yet until it's inspected. So really doing that, and I did not receive any, nor I have noticed any of people trying to get in or vandalizing anything. Nothing was done like that. All the inside was clean. They took a lot of stuff out of there, but and they painted all inside, all the storage room. Every one of them got painted, and new locks, new doors, and made sure everything is fixed. As far as the 15 flag concerned, we have submitted approvals, and the electrical contractor was hired. Electrical contractor went and got the permission from the city so they can start. They ordered the materials for the service to come in, but they haven't done that yet. And they are going to do that in the moment that the materials that they were asking for ordered can come and start working inside. As far as the plumbing and cleaning inside, they're really doing their best, keeping it really nice and clean. The roof portion has been inspected before and finished completely. Got approved as well. As far as the third building concerned, it doesn't have any work. And I mean, they did clean up around it. They made sure the doors are locked. They made sure all of those things is there. But the only thing that that building had that the issue is whether it has, can it be rented or not because of the bathrooms. And the bathroom in the other side really doesn't require to have bathroom inside. And we even had talked to some prospective tenant, and I checked with Jerry whether we can talk to them, and he said that we have to make sure that writing in our contract that has to be fixed in the other side, but unfortunately it didn't materialize. They couldn't come up with. I wasn't involved with the negotiation of all of those things, but apparently it didn't work out. And they really wanted to fit it up and rent it because they're spending a lot of money there and they wanted to rent it. So if somebody help us to find some people, really would be very nice as well. So any question?
I'd like to, I might have a couple questions for you in just a minute, but I'd like to talk to Mr. Warner, and then he may answer the questions.
manifestation.
Please.
Jerry Warner, JERRY, building official, City of Delaware.
Does everything sound pretty much consistent with what you guys have been told and seen?
Well, the goal here was to take a building that's been sitting vacant for years and dilapidated, to get the building not so necessarily it wasn't a public nuisance, but usable windows for them to go ahead and repair the properties. So if you go over, you'll see 15. It's got broken windows in it yet. And they haven't really done much to it. Plumbing wise, I know we're doing a bathroom in there, but at this point, I don't even know if the underground plumbing's any good. I know we've got a plumbing test on tool, what was done on the inside of the rough plumbing, but I don't know if the sanitary sewer itself is good yet. So there's different things like that. We got a 3-phase service that we built on the side of the building, but I told them then when they built the 3-phase service, you don't have 3-phase down there. Where are you going to pull it from? So they still got to get 3-phase down to 1 Flash Street. And that's money to get that across over. I think it's on the actual east side of 15. So they're going to have to run it down. But the actual building 1, they cleaned it out, they painted it, they put the doors in there. I think they want to just do storage in there at this point. Now, he also had maybe offices up in the front. So at this point, we've got a 3-phase service sitting on the outside, no meter in it because there's no electric going to it. And we've got a rough frame bathroom. That's about it. Other buildings, 15 hasn't been, I mean, they've been cleaned out, but they had a lot of just junk in them. We did get the roof rafter fixed and the rubber roof repaired, but it's where we're at. And the steel building is just a steel, and the furnace, all that's gone. I mean, it's just shot. It's sitting over there. Now there is electric to it, but I mean, if somebody wants to use it, none of the buildings are occupiable. And I think that's what we're trying to achieve here, is to actually take, and that was the intent behind it, get the buildings up to the property. You got to maintain the buildings and get them usable. Now, I think their idea is let's go ahead and see if we can find a tenant, and at the same time then have them maybe doing some of the repairs and some of that work maybe inside that building at the same time to kind of help defer that cost from themselves. But it's got to be done. It just seems extremely slow.
Yeah, I noticed that it's, the staff reluctantly, recommends it go till June. In your professional opinion, do you think that anything that would accomplish that?
I would think that since we've been working on this since months, it hasn't gotten far. I mean, I cleaned out the roof, fixed on it, patched up. Everything is getting patched. It's not, other than some of the electrical work, the electrical contractor they have, he's good. And he's been asked to use some things that he knows he just shouldn't use. And he said he can't use because he's state licensed. And Basad and I talked about that. Any of the contractors on there have to be state licensed other than general contractor. So they got to be knowledgeable about what they're doing, but they also have ethics that they have to follow. But it's a very slow paced project. And I don't think they want to put all the money into it at this point. It's what it kind of feels like to me. You have to understand, this is all I do. We build buildings all the time. I mean, this is really, if you wanted to rehab it, it'd been halfway there. I don't think that drive's there.
Was the original, was the original date of December really date to have everything done they agreed to?
Well, my letter started back in, I think, 2014.
Yeah, right. So, yeah.
That's where I'm at with this. He's going like the energized money. Doesn't get anywhere really.
Yeah, I mean, my thought is, what difference is 90 days going to make when 9 months has a difference?
And see, my thought is, I don't mind saying, hey, let's go and see how far they get in June, but really, I've not seen that effort. I mean, I've got a bathroom framed. That's a day.
Yeah.
That's where I'm hung up with it. I really, and the only people that really know what the intent of the owner is are these two, but we're not hearing what that intent is, and I really don't know what that intent is.
So Jerry, both buildings have permits that were approved, right? So the drawings would have been submitted. So how comfortable do you feel with that final decision from those drawings? Do you know what the use is, or is it going to be?
No, really don't know. Basically, what the actual drawings were, and kind of like a commentary on what the drawing was clean all electrical outlets, septicals, and reuse. Clean the additional fixtures and reuse. Well, the reality of it is that it's easier just to have a receptacle and clean it and go out and try to clean these little receptacles up, thinking maybe they save money, but you can't. And really, there's no lights, fixtures really to be reused. Get exit lights in there, emergency lighting. You know, there's a lot of things that need in space. We need furnaces. There's no heat. There's nothing in 15. It's just an old board that's shot. And then I think Assad said there may be a furnace coming for one. But none of that's in there yet. So we've got to get that in there, and so we can get it water back in there. My point that Assad was earlier, I mean, you got to get heat in there. You're going to freeze everything you have. But we've got roof patch, gutters on, some painting done. It looks better, and we're not having the people in like they were. But the buildings themselves aren't really getting anywhere quickly to make it a viable property.
By code, it's still condemned, right?
Or,
By code, it's still condemned. It's not
Mhm.
functional building.
yeah, they're not occupiable. Yeah. And that's the other thing they do, and I think the state understands that. I mean, we have to get them to that point in order to lease them. Unless, you know, somebody comes along and says, we will go ahead and put $1.5 million in this building. This is our plan, and they have a contract, and they're going to go in there and do the total build out. That would be wonderful. I just don't see that happening.
What has been the financial investment in the last 6 months? What has been the financial investment in building? I mean, it's kind of,
I don't know exactly how much they have to spend, but because the contractor talks to the owner directly, I don't get on the details of the actual construction. But seems like they have been paying a lot of money, and they have been paying a lot of money for the permit. The permit itself was about one was 1,000, one was 4,000 or so. They paid quite a lot for just the cost.
do you know what the total construction cost to these buildings done and up to code when we're finished? Do you know?
I don't know that.
I'm just trying to get to the level of involvement, investment, just to show how much effort's been put forth in relation to percentage of completion. Because if we're looking at $1 million plus to rehab these things.
Oh, you're looking at that.
$5,000 permit is not a large level of investment.
Yeah, not this contrast though too. I understand that permit fees may a lot, but when you have to understand what this house and all the, she said the total square footage of the total renovated is, and all this work was going to take place. If they choose not to do all of that work, that was the business decision on their end. But that dollars is peanuts compared to the tax money that's gone into this facility with police run, fire runs, and code enforcement. It doesn't even begin to reimburse the city. That's just to cover our time that we've had in it just today, the building's not, we're just haven't even scratched the surface. It's a business decision that they have to make, and that's just the point. They knew up front, either condemn it, tear it down, sell it. They've chosen to then go ahead and do the rehab.
I'm a newbie, but how long is the permit good for?
Well, once you obtain a permit, it can go on as long as it doesn't stop for a period of 6 months. Now, if they don't do any work, then it dies. You know, you can have one's good for 1 year, and then after that, you start 6 months from that on, you keep going.
Perpetuity. And then apply for that until February 16?
December.
Yeah, nothing was really happening. That's why we just, we were just going to go ahead and file the complaint in court. The attorney said, well, let them appeal. I said, they're past your appeal dates. But he wanted me to go ahead and do the appeal. So the next question would be, you guys could just decide that tonight then too, and just say he had enough, go elsewhere.
It was really past the appeal time that came to us.
A viable time limit for this extension, or should it be longer?
Well, depends upon how much motivation they got, you know what I mean? So for an example, I mean, you've got June, I don't know if it's viable. I mean, it's kind of like when we do a school, you got so many months to get it done in. You see what we do in a summer month, we build a lot of school, but they got to have drive. I'm not sure it's there. I don't think that the
I'm just
client
wondering
wants
about
to
how about the extension would be.
I think it's a realistic one, but they've got to put the resources to it. But with that said, that's windows, heating, electric, bathrooms, all of it.
My concern, I'm looking at the plans. There's a statement in here, the building one would be ready for occupancy by fall of 2015. Building 2 had 5 or 6 months of estimated construction improvement after the drawings, which, if I understand right, were approved and are correct for building 2.
Mm-hmm.
We're in month 3 now, right? There, and it doesn't sound like we have half the construction completed. If it's going to take 5 to 6 months of construction, how reasonable do you feel you'll have those buildings ready for occupancy within the next 3 to 4 months?
Well, the drawing shows the extent of the work. The drawing will be followed by the contractor. So from December up to now, they're trying to do it. Before that, they were doing the cleanup, they were doing the painting, doing the repair, which did not require a permit. But in the moment they got the permit based on the drawing, they got to follow that. So except the work is not defined. I don't know whether $1 million, $1.5 million, it's not that at all. But if you look at the drawings shows you what needs to be done.
Do you have all the contractors already lined up to complete the work? And what's their estimated time of being completed?
I don't know the estimated time.
See, I would,
When they get into the electrical, the only thing is part of the electrical and plumbing. Plumber is already on the side. Electrical move on the side as well. It seems like Jerry likes the electrical, right? Hopefully he likes plumbing side. So they can forward. Because the goal of the owner is to try to meet what they're going to be in the drawings that they're going to do.
see, I have a concern here that, okay, the agreement was made back in June. There's been no movement. You didn't submit plans till December. There's no reason those plans couldn't have been created and submitted in July. This is just an ongoing waste of time in my book. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm calling it like I see it. I just see this as being just wasting everyone's time. I mean, I would go ahead and
And I tend to agree with him because, you know, like Jerry said, you know, we went above and beyond the time that was really past the appeal time, thinking that something would happen, and it looks just like cosmetics that take place. Yeah, I agree with you.
You know what the process plan preparation means and how does it, how much time?
it really isn't, that really isn't even relevant here because you agreed to it back in June to have it done. It's not done. So you can't, you know, that you should have said that back then, but I mean, based on the work that's performed, I mean, come on, like Jerry is. I mean, I can build out a half bath in my basement in a day. I mean, really, it's not rocket science here. You know, I just don't see. I see this as just effort and futility.
Can I just a couple of questions to Mr. Warner? Initially, when we came to the board, or initially when you started writing a letter to the property owners, there were issues with at least a couple of walls on the big building that were in danger of collapse. Is that right? Am I remembering the details right?
Yeah.
Have those been repaired? Okay.
Those were long before this hearing.
Before we came here the first time. Okay. And then was it the big building who had a hole in the roof that needed repaired? And is that what you said, that there was a patchwork done? So as far as you know, that's been done. Since we were here in June, have you been back in any of the buildings?
Yes.
Okay, which, did you go in?
Well, I was over there yesterday, and then,
21?
no, I had to drive in because we were working there
Okay.
yesterday. And then my electrical inspectors were over there then this week and did the electrical framing for the bathroom. And then BZA just called me and said they want a frame tomorrow. I told them to call in, and I'll send my guy over there. And building number 2, they repaired the rafter.
Oh, so the wrappers.
With the
Okay.
building, yeah, 15, yeah, they repaired the rafter.
Is there, on any of the buildings as they currently sit, is there any danger of roof collapse? Like what we previously saw?
No.
And there was some glass windows that have broken glass, and I think you said that there's still some windows that you see.
They're broken, more broken out, yeah.
Okay. Are those the windows? I know that on the big building, there's some windows with steel cages like over.
Yeah.
Are those the windows you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have there been other windows that, since you got involved or since we started having issues or coming to the BZA, that windows have either been replaced or boarded up?
Prior to the hearing, 2 or 3 days after that, they scrambled to get all the glass fixed before the hearing.
All right.
And some of those glasses now have been broke.
When you go over there, or any of your inspectors, or do we see any issues with I think you said that you haven't been made aware of doors being busted?
No, we're good. We're secure.
Oh, okay. Okay. So unless someone went to extreme lengths to enter into any of the.
Right.
Okay. First time we were here, that either, I don't know if it was you, but we were having issues with the maintenance for some period of time. Maybe it might have even been a couple of years ago. The city was having to mow and take care of grounds, and then sending a bill to the property owners for the property owners and that. But have we had that? I mean, okay. All right. So the city hasn't been having to care for that.
We've not had to mow.
Okay.
Yeah, board members, some questions. Or have we take somebody want to make a motion for resolution? Ma'am, if you'd like to come up and swear you in, please. you please say, raise your right hand. You swear everything you're about to say tonight is to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do, sir.
I will. Okay. Can you please state and spell your name, please?
My name is Diana Longworth, DianaLongWorth.
What's your address?
And
I
I'm
own-
James Martis, Martis. I live at 6 Flat Street.
Ma'am, what's your address?
I own the house at 37 Flax Street,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
Okay.
Okay, sir. My situation is this. These people have owned this property. The deed was transferred in their name back in 2006. Several times police have been called over to this property. This property has been an eyesore. I have owned this property personally myself since 1993. Before that, it's been in my family for years and years. During this time, these buildings have just been dilapidated. The glass has been broke. There's been children in and out of there. I mean, it's been a nightmare. And now these people have had 10 years to get this done. Now, I'm sorry, but I personally have done a house with the city of Delaware where I ripped out the walls and everything and stuff, and actually had a builder's permit from Jerry Warner and stuff. And me and my husband did half of the work. And we had the whole house, plumbing, everything completely done in the house in 6 months. And we did a lot of the work ourselves, plus kept our jobs. They evidently do not want to put the money really into the property to get it done. They just keep dragging their legs and their feet and everything. And if you guys let them get away with this again, we will be having this hearing again. And it's ridiculous. They bought this land thinking they were going to do something with it and everything, and they're waiting and sitting on it. And in the meantime, the whole neighborhood is fed up with it. It's an eyesore. It's been an eyesore. I thought it would have been out of there umpteens ago. I was hoping when it went in their name, I thought, oh, great. Somebody's going to get it that's going to finally do something with it. 10 years later, we're still waiting. And what do we got? 2 walls, bathroom, some paint put up, a roof patched. I don't think that's fair to the Delaware people. We live here. We live in this community. We know when the police are called. We know when the kids are over there doing drugs and everything. And we're having to live in this. It's not fair to.
I certainly appreciate you making a comment. Certainly do. Yes, sir.
I've been in here before, ever since they started this. And say that there was done so far I could do in a day. They smeared up the doors a little bit and done a little bit. They only worked on that one building. That's all. The rest of the factory they didn't touch. They didn't touch the building back. The building was built 100 years ago, or pretty close to it. It was built for one purpose, for light manufacturing. There hasn't been any light manufacturing in the last 20 years. What I say is they want to do something to that building, and that is going to more trouble in the city of Delaware than you can ever imagine. And to start all off, they got bulldozed a tree down there back of the shed there, and it ended up along the bank that I own. Next thing I know, it was down over the bank. The bases bottom of the tree that cut off in front of the tank, or the siphoning tank, was sold to the into the barn onto the trees. All that stuff there has been out of the yard. It wasn't taken out. It was bulldozed or swept up. Never taken care of, cleaned up, nothing. So I say this, like with the city, I want to see the thing built, definitely tore out of there. And then if they want to build apartments or something in there, let them do it to the city code, which they have, everybody here in the city has to do that. If they want to build something, they have to go get a permit from the city. So why not them go do the same thing?
Okay, that's
Now,
what,
I don't know just exactly what they want to put into them buildings. I hear so many different stories. I like to learn out what's going in there.
I think we all would.
And that's the point. They evidently themselves do not even have a firm plan. 10 years later, and they still do not have a firm plan. They're still not bringing the money to the table to get the project up and running. And in the meantime, it does have broken windows that we have to look at when we drive there and go past there and everything. And it's still the shabby same place it has been owned it for 10 years. I would say that if you had the money to buy the place 10 years ago, then you should have had some money stuck away to make sure that you did those improvements that needed within 10 years. It needs to be
Well, I have a
gone.
copy here of the city, what they put in the paper. They gave them 5 months in order to take and make all the things back to what needs to be done. Well, like I said, they only worked on that one building. The other buildings haven't been touched. And they're the ones that need the worst.
Mr. Martin,
They wanted something that way that is going to cause trouble.
Mr. Martis, I have a
If they
question
build-
for you.
If they build apartments in there, that ain't fit for apartments.
Sir, Mr. Bureau has a question for you.
So you're saying that you've only worked on one, right?
That's right.
Okay.
I live over, I've seen all the places they work.
Have you seen,
That long building,
have you seen
along the river.
any increased police activity since we last saw you? How's the police activity been? Have the police been called that you're aware of since then, since you last met with us?
Well, I can't understand you too much that way.
She wants to know if the police have been there since you've been here last time.
Oh, yeah, the police have been over there once in a while, but,
Since you've been
they
here last
still
time?
haven't done what we're supposed to do, clean that up. It's still a mess, and I like to see it out the door.
Ma'am, do you see a lot of activity going over there yourself too?
I have to say that there has been teenagers and stuff that still walk around the building and everything and stuff like they are checking things out. As far as the police goes, I don't know, I can't say personally myself for sure that they have been called, but they have been called lots of times in the past, sir.
Yeah,
And I
we have
been there and
a log here. The last time it was when it was in 15, but I don't know how updated this log is.
yeah, I don't know, but I can tell you in the past, they have been there lots and lots and lots because the kids were actually breaking even into the building and stuff. And there is teenagers that still, just like there at 37 Flag Street is the first little house. You have building 2, this little house that's right in the corner of Flag Street and stuff, that's 37 Flag Street. Actually, the teenagers jump the wire fence and everything going to that building and back and forth.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your comments. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. Anybody like to motion for resolution?
Sure, I'd like to make a resolution. I'd like to move we deny the applicant's appeal in this case, and therefore approve the decision of the code officer requiring condemnation and demolition of the structures listed on the subject property in application 2015-0213, beyond a reasonable doubt that the decision factors necessary to consider given in the 2000 National Property Maintenance Code have been answered sufficiently by the code official based upon evidence presented.
Second.
And roll call, please.
Ms. Brewer,
Yes, I agree.
Ms. Dottenbaugh, Mr. Dottenbaugh, sorry.
Aye.
Yes.
Ms. Fisher, Mr. Vaughn. Councilman Hellinger,
Yes.
Vice Chair Duncan,
Yes.
Chairman Dick.
Yes. Okay, so,
Approved, 0-1. Backing up the official's decision to have it condemned or demolished.
do you understand? Could you hear us okay?
Yeah, the board's decision is to accept the chief building official's adjudication of the building and proceed with demolition procedure, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's correct.
I have a question. Does that mean these gentlemen are going to be the ones that's going to demolition this and we're going to wait another 10 years for that?
That's me. to
Ma'am,
determine.
that's a question you have to take up with the city themselves.
We can have that discussion after the meeting.
And that'd be beyond our scope here. Okay.
Okay, I just want to know if I'm looking at another 10 years of it.
I do want to circle back to item number 2, approval of the motion summary of the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting held on June 2nd, 2015, as recorded, described. I didn't ask for a motion in a second. I'd like to reopen.
Okay, I'm sorry, which one was that?
That was item number 2, the approval of the motion.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I didn't ask first, I'm sorry.
Well, let's take a motion. Take a motion for the minutes from the last roll call.
I move therefore that we approve the minutes.
Second, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Who was the second? Ms. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Doughton,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilman Hellinger,
Abstain.
Vice Chairman John,
Yes.
and Dick.
Yes.
Thanks, I'm sorry about that.
Anybody have any comments, discussion? I think we'll go ahead and have the election of officers at this one.
Yeah, each year it's required that we elect officers, and this is the first meeting of this year. You know, the wish of the commission, who do we want to elect for chairman, vice chairman? We do those individually and vote on those individually.
Okay. I want to nominate.
Dick, do you want to continue?
Yes.
I'll nominate there for chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Dottenbaugh,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher, Mr. Vaughn,
Yes.
Council Hellinger,
Yes.
Vice Chair Junk,
Yes.
Chairman Dick.
Abstain. Want to continue as vice?
I'd like to open up the field to somebody else too.
Anybody else?
If nobody else wants it, I'll take it.
Are you interested?
I'm good. You're welcome to this.
Yeah, you're so smart.
Before him, so I'll nominate me.
All right.
I'll nominate Paul.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Sorry, Pat. Ms. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Dottenbaum,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher. Mr. Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilman Hellinger,
Yes.
Chairman Dick,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Junk.
Abstain.
Any other comments or discussion, anything from the staff?
Right now, next month, the next meeting would be April 13th. Currently, we don't have any agenda items, but that could change. I don't know if you have any questions or discussions of me or anything.
Okay. Not,
Training on the planning commission.
Yeah, I think that was just emailed out maybe today. Yeah, if you're there, or maybe earlier this week. I believe it's in June of this year. It was May last year. If you're interested in attending, contact our secretary, and the city will pick up that fee. I think it's on a Friday in June, and it can be very helpful. I don't know if anybody's attended that, and it's downtown somewhere. I don't know if you have any experiences from that or not, any suggestions or?
I was very interested. They talk about planning problems coming up and how they can handle in other counties. So if you want to, or areas, if you want to see what other people are doing, things we're handling, it's quite nice from that standpoint.
It's educational.
Yeah, I attended last year, and I think the best benefit was the legal updates and the case law, the things that are going on.
Very educational.
okay, take a motion to adjourn.
Can I please ask just a couple of questions?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. This is my only second time I've ever been to a meeting like this.
Mhm.
And that was umpteen years ago. I'd like to kind of understand more how this whole process works. Because I see other areas and stuff in Delaware, and maybe some other people could get involved and stuff. I guess what I'm saying is I've noticed that you guys have been getting the emails and stuff on the updates and stuff. But how is it first brought to your attention that there is a problem with a property being vacant?
The city has a code enforcement division, and Gary Warner is the supervisor, and we either write complaint or we drive by, or neighbors tell us that there's a property or building that there could be a potential issue with, and we investigate that and determine if it meets our code or not, and they take necessary steps from there.
Okay, now, does this include buildings that where they look like they've done work and then they've stopped for years and haven't done anything else, and that's overgrown and that kind of
yes,
stuff?
Yes, it's anywhere from weeds and notches, landscaping to maintenance issues, property maintenance issues, structural issues. It's across the board. And we have minimum standards that they have to achieve compliance with. If they don't, we take the necessary steps, try to work it out administratively, internally with the applicant. If it does, if we don't achieve compliance, then it would, one option is to come to this board, and that's what this case did. Sometimes they go to court first, and on the process, a violation and how our code's written, and what portion of code that it doesn't achieve compliance with. There's several chapters in our code that have different processes for to achieve compliance.
Okay, so just like my understanding is you guys have agreed that this property does need to be demolished, right?
That was the decision, yes.
Okay. Can this be built again?
Sure. The appeals for this would be a common pleas court. That's outside the city. So the city made the decision, Jerry Warner's decision, that it should be condemned or demolished. The applicant, the owner, can appeal this to the court.
Also, our normal job is not for demolition, so this is it kind of fell into us as a special case.
Right, yeah.
It's not normally done.
If you go back to this, and it's very confusing, it may make a lot of sense to have this conversation with Jerry because I'm the zoning in, he's the building in because of the zoning issue. This is why he took the lead on this. And he can this over a year ago. Our attorney suggested it go through this process first because the court then typically the judge, did you exhaust all your appeals? This is one of the processes, so the last appeal to the city. So that's why it was suggested to go to this board.
Okay. Now, I want to share too, I'm sitting here, I'm a very honest person. And I told you guys, I do own 37.
Mhm.
Now, you were asking me that, right? What
We needed your address for record, correct?
Oh, now see, okay, that's what I was saying. I think he asked me what owned or what. I'm at 90 Greenman Street. It's my actual physical address.
It's where you receive your mail at, so.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just 90 Greenman Street. Now, the reason why I know so much about this property, not only have I owned it all these years and my mother before that and so forth and everything, but my nephew is living there. So I am over there lots of times. So I am being real honest with you when I tell you these teenagers were jumping over the fence, getting to this property and everything. I'm sitting there, we're on the back porch, watching, laughing. They think it's a big deal because nobody can stop them, they're big and bold. And so that's what I'm saying. It really has been a headache. And to be quite honest, someday you move back into this house when my nephew gets up and running more. But that's what I'm saying. It has been an eyesore, and I'm really glad that the city is paying attention to this stuff. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe there's what the rest of us can help involved, and that's why I was asking. So you would suggest that I would speak to Jerry?
If you have more specific questions about the building itself, about the process, you could call me and I can explain that to you at your leisure.
No, I mean getting it involved in the city.
Right.
Oh, that's you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot of volunteer opportunities or a lot of board commissions that we take. If there's no openings, we take resumes for them. And when those openings arise, then they interview people for those positions. That's how the majority of these people ended up on this board and other boards.
Or you can contact the mayor's office.
Right. Mayor, I can make that contact.
And it would be remiss to put this out to everyone in this room that, as you probably have seen in the newspaper and on the radio and stuff over the last couple of days, how city council be floating out there a transfer levy for the November ballot. And we are looking for citizens that want to take part of that and help us get the information out. Because as a city cannot campaign for or against an issue. We can put the information out there, just like the school board can't do that for a school levy. But then there has to be a citizen initiative to go out there and kind of bang the drum and do more of the, get some agreement within the community for that. So we are actively looking for any individual that would like to do that. Reach out to me or any one of the other council members if you have any interest in doing that. November will be here before we know it.
Well, I won't hold you guys up any longer. I know how to take our stuff. I thank you very, very much for your time.
Thank you, ma'am.
What are they going to do?
Now, the commission supported Jerry's decision that it should be abandoned or demolished or condemned.
This line here, they don't,
We'll see.
appeals that.
It's a process.
Okay. All right, take a motion, to go ahead and adjourn.
I'm motion to adjourn.
Second. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. We'll take roll call.
Need to take roll. Ms. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Dottenball,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilman Hellinger.
It'd be really funny if I said no. Yes.
Vice Chair, Chairman Dick.
Yes. All right.
Please don't pass.
It's still.
Guys, yeah.